Oh yes, you are welcome back to today's broadcast. In fact, let's look into this issue of Sokoto Declaration. Sokoto Declaration by Mike Arnold. Everybody who is a supporter and a lover of Biafra and a lover of Mazam Kano, he need to watch this video to the end so that you understand what Mike Arnold just dropped recently. Yesterday we did the Independence, the Remembrance Days of Biafran Hero Days. Then this is the Sokoto Declaration that everybody had been waiting for, to see and to hear what Mazen Kano offered and what Michael Arnold also offered. Because in this video, it is a very powerful video that define the states and also that define the stand of Biafra in Nigeria and what the global world need to do so that they can free Mazam Kano and also they can elect the Biafran to have their own freedom out of Nigeria. So according to the headline, it says Biafra restoration goes global. The truth behind Mike Arnold Sokoto Declaration updates. So this is the truth behind it. He said a lot of things in this video, and then he talked about the freedom of Biafra. He talked about Mazam Kano, the fate, and what bring him together with Mazam Kano, and the way, the place he viewed Mazam Kano perspective, and what makes him love Mazam Kano movement. In fact, he talked a lot of things that makes a very vital information, and that will let you to understand what it means by being a Biafra. And in fact, what people is passing through in Nigeria today, it has already shown to the world that Nigeria is not a country that people need to still be celebrating of, no matter what. And the situation everybody find themselves in Nigeria today, it is not something that you will come up and you'll be talking about and be happy. Nobody is happy in Nigeria today. Everywhere, killing everywhere, kidnapping everywhere, terrorism everywhere. Everywhere you go in Nigeria today. In fact, a lot is going on. So this is the declaration of the Sokoto Caliphate. Just watch by yourself for you to see and before to understand what is really going on. It's about to watch, like, subscribe, and share it for everyone to see things going on in Biafra land.
We come from different worlds. One of us, Mazi Nnamdi Okwu Kanu, was born in Biafra as a Biafran and now sits in a prison cell built to silence him. The other, Mike Arnold, was born in the United States of America, where this declaration is being delivered, and has crisscrossed the ocean 16 times because what he saw here would not let him leave. We do not walk the same road, yet we have arrived at the same conviction. Today we speak as one to every person of conscience on this land, every tribe, every region, every faith. We share one enemy and one future. When darkness covers a people, when truth tellers are jailed, when a government's full-time work is hiding mass graves, that is the hour when boldly speaking truth can topple tyrants and set the people free. That hour is now. It is time to rise. The hour demands it. The scale of suffering is staggering. Hundreds of thousands killed in recent decades alone. Millions displaced from their ancestral homes. The darkness has many faces. The historical legacy of jihadist conquest, Boko Haram, ISIS affiliates, armed Fulani militias, lobbyists in Washington, and tyrants in Aso Rock who enrich themselves while denying the dead. By 1900, the Sokoto Caliphate was among the largest slave societies in modern history. The genocidal Biafran Nigerian War claimed some 3.6 million lives, according to official estimates, with Irish missionaries putting the figure closer to 5 million, many through starvation. Since 2009, credible reports document more than 180,000 deaths, more than 19,000 churches burned or destroyed, and the displacement of as many as 10 to 12 million people from their ancestral homes. Children grow up in squalid camps the regime denies exist, surrounded by the ideology that murdered their parents. This is not farmer-herder conflict, not climate change, not a misunderstanding. This is conquest, one of the longest patterns of targeted violence and displacement in modern history. It ends now. The violence is not inevitable. It is the result of choices that can be confronted and reversed by the sovereign will of the people. We hold these truths. Every human being on this land, every tribe, every tongue, every faith, is made in the image of God and possesses inherent dignity and the right to life, liberty, and self-determination. Every person has the right to live in peace in the home of their fathers. The displaced must return home. Their safe return and full restoration come before all other national work. Until they are home safe, with justice and restitution, nothing else is finished. We acknowledge without hesitation or qualification the pain, suffering, and injustice endured by the oppressed of every tribe, every ethnic group, and every region across this land. No community holds a monopoly on grief. From north to south, east to west, millions have borne the weight of violence, corruption, neglect, and broken promises. Their blood, their tears, and their stolen futures cry out for justice, just the same. They too are entitled to freedom, dignity, and security, no less than any Biafran, no less than any Nigerian. We do not seek liberty for our one people alone, but for all who suffer under injustice. The society we demand is one rooted in freedom, equity, justice, fairness, and the uncompromising supremacy of the rule of law. These ideals are not optional. They are irreducible, non-negotiable, and the minimum standard we demand from those who govern and from ourselves. A government is legitimate only with the consent of the governed. When it arms killers, bulldozes camps of displaced citizens, and pays foreign press agents to deny mass graves, it has lost the right to govern. Self-determination is not a crime. It is a fundamental, inalienable right enshrined in the supreme law of the land and in binding international instruments solemnly ratified by Nigeria herself. Nigeria's constitution, the apex legal instrument of the Federal Republic, declares in unambiguous terms that sovereignty and power belong to the people, not to any cabal that looted and rigged its way to Abuja. Beneath the Constitution sits the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, which occupies the second highest position in the hierarchy of Nigerian law. What makes this even more damning is an innocuous but explosive provision in Nigeria's own Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022. Section 2, subsection 3F expressly provides that any act which constitutes a breach of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights is, by that very fact, an act of terrorism under Nigerian law. Let the world hear this clearly. Article 20 of the African Charter guarantees the right of self-determination, and the continued systematic violation of this right against Biafrans and all other Nigerians, including the persecution and imprisonment of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, places the Nigerian state in direct, self-inflicted violation of its own anti-terrorism legislation. The regime that accuses others of terrorism is itself culpable of inflicting terrorist acts upon a people peacefully demanding their God-given and constitutionally protected rights. A free vote is not violence. Speaking truth is not terrorism. It is the denial of these rights that constitutes the real terrorism. No ideology that demands death for words, death for faith, or death for tribe has any claim on the future of this land or any other. The wealth under this ground belongs to the people who live on it. Every barrel taken under cover of massacre is theft. Every kilogram of ore dug from under the homes of the displaced is soaked in innocent blood. Every dollar that flows to foreign accounts while children starve is theft. No one is coming to save us. No outside power will hand us our freedom. No foreign capital will grant us our wishes. Waiting for rescue is colonial thinking, a habit of the chained mind. The world may help. It may not. We do not wait. Power is never given. It is built. It is taken. The cost. Freedom is not free. It never has been. It will not be now. Those who broke the chains of apartheid did not do it by waiting. Those who faced dogs and hoses in Birmingham did not do it by hoping. Those who walked to the sea at Dundee did not do it by asking permission. They counted the cost. Many paid it. The world changed. Now is the hour for this land. How we fight determines what we build. We do not call for violence or vengeance. We do not call for chaos. We reject the methods of those we oppose, because no true freedom has ever been won with unjust hands. But we are not pacifists. Every people has the God-given right to defend its life, protect its families, and secure its communities, with overwhelming lethal force if the moment demands it. We affirm that right without apology and without condition. Peace is not passivity. Peace is strength under restraint. We reject not force, but unjust aggression. We refuse revenge that poisons every cause it enters. There's a wide line between defending the living and becoming what we oppose. Know that line. Walk it. Hold it. We call for courage to name evil in your village, your church, your house, your government, in your own thoughts when fear whispers that silence is safer. We call for real unity. Every soul of conscience on this land suffers under the same darkness. Do not let it continue to divide us. Stand together or fall apart alone. To our Biafran brothers and sisters, public infighting must end. Every perceived division among you is a gift to the darkness. Every faction fighting another faction is doing the enemy's work for him. You were never each other's enemies. The cause is too great, the cost too high, the hour too late. Unite under one sense of purpose, or risk surrendering the future you seek to build. We call for courageous, coordinated, disciplined, and unrelenting resistance. Peaceful where possible, defensive where necessary. In the streets, at the ballot box, in every international forum, in every courtroom that will hear the evidence, in every church and mosque silent too long. Online and on the ground, darkness rules by your silence and fear. Withdraw both. We call for the transformation of governance in this land. The people must assert their sovereign will through coordinated, disciplined, and unrelenting pressure. Change must come via the peaceful but unstoppable force of a unified people, supported by moral clarity and, where possible, international oversight. Through legal and democratic action, through an internationally supervised process for a new constitutional framework and genuine self-determination, through the kind of moral force that has stopped tyrants before and will topple them again. We call on the world, every government, every faith, every human rights body, every person of conscience, to stand with the people of this land, not with the evil regime, with its people. Understand, we will not wait for you, and we will remember. Stand with us today, or watch us rise without you. To those who hold power, history is watching, and it is not kind to those who choose the wrong side of it. Pharaohs do not win in the end. They never have. You know this. Behind the lobbyists and the propaganda and the billions stolen from the ground while your own people starve, you know this. To those in authority, history shows that no regime built on fear, division, and plunder endures forever. The path of repentance and reform remains open. Choose justice over power, accountability over impunity, and the healing of this land over its continued bleeding. This regime once put on the record, starvation is a legitimate weapon of war, and we have every intention of using it. Only the methods have changed. The blockade became burned villages. Bombs became bulldozers. The darkness continues. In Europe, the right side ended the Holocaust, wrote the history books, and the world was forced to reckon. Here, the wrong side won, and the world has never reckoned with the millions murdered. That reckoning starts now. The question is not whether this land will be free. It will be free. The only question is, what will it cost and who will answer for what was done? What freedom looks like. Wherever the people of this land have been free, they rise in medicine, law, engineering, finance, the arts. Among the most educated and entrepreneurial people on earth, they do not merely survive, they excel. But it is not happening here because the darkness won't let them. Break it and watch what happens. The North, liberated from the grip of terror, its people free at last to build rather than conquer. The Middle Belt, healed, its dead remembered, its living come home, its farms restored, its churches rebuilt. The South, rising, its resources belonging at last to those who live on the ground. A new constitutional order written by the people through genuine consent that respects self-determination while enabling cooperation. When this land is free, the people will not merely survive. They will lead. The benevolent giant of Africa, a multi-ethnic democracy rooted in peace, righteousness, and human dignity, putting $1 trillion of God-given wealth to work for its people and for the world. No longer a burden or a threat, a partner, a beacon to every people still waiting for their own long night to end. The free world needs this land free. The land needs the free world to finally show up, not for oil, not for minerals, but for its people. This is not a dream. It is what these people already are, everywhere they are free. Let us finally bring that freedom home. To the people, gird yourselves. The road is not short. It is not easy. Count the cost and be willing to pay it anyway. The cost of surrender is higher. It always is. Be the good ones. Be the honest ones. Be the ones found on the right side when this is over and the true history is written. Do not become what you oppose. Do not let this cause be captured by hatred, by tribalism, or by the hunger for power and personal gain that corrupts every movement that forgets its founding purpose. The cause is life. The cause is liberty. The cause is the right of every human being on this land to live in peace in the home of their fathers, to worship freely, to vote freely, to build freely. That cause is worth everything. Bring the displaced home. End the killing. Break the darkness. Draw the boundaries of peace by consent, by the voice of the people, the only authority that matters. The long night is ending. Let us stand together, not in hatred or narrow tribalism, but in defense of life, liberty, and the right of every human being to live in peace in their ancestral lands, to worship freely, and to build a future of dignity. May the God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Arodi, Areli, and Eri, who delivered Israel from Pharaoh, grant us wisdom, courage, restraint, and unity to deliver his people once again.
Oh yes, he has said it all. That what the Igbo need, what the Biafra need is freedom. Freedom. And they need to come together to organize themselves, to love themselves so that they can fight this fight to the end and for them to get their freedom the way they want. And also the freedom of Mazam Kanu. In fact, he talked a lot of things in this video, and I hope that you will also watch it to this level. So we have other video to give to you today, so that for you to understand things going on in Nigeria. So watch and see things going on in the country. Where this pastor said it all, the issue behind Nigeria and the depth of Nigeria, where he said Nigeria is dead. So anybody who is trying to do anything to make the country to move, the person is wasting his time. He's a man of God. He's a very powerful man of God. Just watch it by yourself so that you will understand things going on in Nigeria and the reason why everybody in Nigeria is crying today very, very hardly and bitterly for them to be free out of this Fulani caliphate we find ourselves in. Just watch so that you understand what we are saying in this video.
Nigeria is dead. Let's not deceive ourselves. Let me tell you something. I'm going deeper in a minute. Let me tell you something. Once you're counting in naira, you are poor. I was not born poor. My father's salary, his last salary, in the 1970s or 80s, I can't remember when it was about 18,000 naira. That was money. Let me make it clear to you. How much is $1 billion naira today in dollars? Or 1.4 billion naira? How much is it in dollars? Only $1 million, Query. Do you know what $1 billion naira was when I was 15, 16? $2.8 billion. $2.8 billion, and we're taking it because we live in the now. We don't study history. They wrenched it out of our academic systems, and we don't research data to project our future, to know what tomorrow will look like. So we're not doing the critical thinking. So we have no combatant against our subconscious foolishness that determines our behavior. I see that some of my heavily intellectual minds, they're sitting forward like this now. Welcome. Welcome. So some people, when they hear transformational truth,
Now, after listening to him, I'm going to play you another short video of a Nigerian pastor telling his congregation that Nigeria is a lie, that there is no country called Nigeria. A Nigerian pastor, please, let it not be that it came out from my mouth. I'm just going to allow you now to listen to him. Then you drop your comment in the comment section, what you think, what they are saying. Is it true or is it not true? Drop it in the comment section. I'll be there to, reply to your comments. But then, listen to him, please.
Executive don't sleep. If not, the whole thing will crumble. Your crumbling you see is that the head is sick. And when the head is sick, the body will be in trouble. That's our problem. How can 60% of our raw oil be stolen? And 50% of the refined one we have now imported also be stolen. Stolen on the field, stolen at the pump. In your coming election, which I don't believe in anyway, my own understanding, because of my experience in politics, I am not just a pastor, I have been in the trenches, and I have a clear understanding of what is wrong with this country. Our next priority is not election. Our next priority is rearranging this country. This country must be rearranged. This country is a fraud. It's a lie. Nigeria is a lie. What is called Nigeria died in 1966. When the military shot the gun and suspended the constitution that brought us together. Nigeria was a negotiated country. It was negotiated under the British that the only way that a country like us, close to 300 nationalities, people with different ideas, different orientation, different religion, different mindset, different way of life, the only way they can cohabit is if they are allowed to govern themselves in their different setting. And then at the upper point, come and have a weak center, just like United States of America. New York and New Jersey are just like Lagos and Ogun State. Only a river separated them. Two close states, two different governments, two different laws. So you don't like their laws and their pay in New Jersey, you move to New York. You don't like New York, you go to Philadelphia. You don't like Philadelphia, you go to Atlanta. Everyone is separately governed. Do you see their election acrimonious as ours? No, state by state election. And then they coordinate it at the center. But everything comes from one source here. That's military. That's military. We are still under military rule. which we now call democracy. There's no democracy in Nigeria. So we must first of all restructure this country and go back to pre-1966 setting, modify it. This country cannot work except we go back to what we negotiated. When people say Nigeria cannot be negotiated, I say it's a lie. It was negotiated. It was negotiated. Under Chief Obafemi Awolowo, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Ahmadu Bello, it was negotiated. And everyone believed, grow your own area, I will grow my own area, we meet at the top. How come we are shut down? When February you are going to vote? Because, you know, sometimes I look at Nigeria, oh, I'm overshooting my time. I look at Nigeria, I just laugh. We behave like little kids. You know, little kids, when a little kid is playing with something, when he's playing with this, and you want to take it from him, you will show him the red. He drops this, he takes this. That's what we are doing. They just dangle something. Election, oh, election. Everybody has forgotten our problem. And 2023 will not be better. Even if they bring Joe Biden to this country, he cannot get it done. The structure is wrong. Psalm 11 verse 3. If the foundation is wrong, nothing else. Put one ethnic tribe over all the other tribes and kept them in bondage. Put them everywhere. Ruining everywhere. By the grace of God, God will rise up for this country.
Nigeria, I do not believe it was created by God. I don't believe it. A fellow called Top Goldman, his girlfriend, she named the country. And also Lugard. This nation was created for the business of the British purse. So they wouldn't have to bear the bill for the not as prosperous and wealthy part. And they had a deal concerning the Sudan. And those who care to buy the book, buy the book. It's written by a fellow called, the name of the book is The Martyrdom of Man. As far as Africa was concerned, two empires got together and decided that this land will go to the sons of Ishmael. Of the British. And the British are not... let me say it another way. Awolowo, Tafawa Balewa, Ahmadu Bello, and Azikiwe, they are not the founding fathers of Nigeria, in my opinion. The founding fathers of Nigeria are some men from Whitehall and a fellow called Top Goldman, his girlfriend, she named the country. And also Lugard. This nation was created for the business of the British purse. So they wouldn't have to bear the bill for the not as prosperous and unwealthy part of the country. That part of the country was Oriental in civilization, Eastern, particularly Middle Eastern. You cannot build the Nigerian identity without education. Nigeria by now should be the factory of Africa and the Western Hemisphere. Yet we are the dumping ground for their second-hand and cheap goods. That means we need technical schools to come back. And these vastly poor people can get a quick education as to how to invent, how to manufacture. That's what China did. China is the factory of the world. She doesn't have enough capacity to give the whole world. We have people now who are poorer than their laborers. So we should be the factory. How are we going to get there? It's going to take men of justice and equity who will consider their total volition, their total preoccupation to determine how will we get this done. Draw a roadmap and then call the right people to build the nation whose builder and maker is God. That's not a 5-year job. It's not a 2-year job. It will take commitment, my belief, for at least 20 years. We may negotiate the U-turn and start the trajectory, but then hedge it in with concrete. So these mad people that think that the best industry in Nigeria is politics will not be able to find their way into government, any of the three arms. We don't need that anymore. And as we're speaking, your amen had better be loud, because I believe heaven has been waiting to hear this and to hear your amen. Because heaven will not act where men do not speak from conviction about what they want heaven to do on earth. Please give me a witness. I know you came for the sugar and the sweet. I will give you dessert soon. So the result is our country, though it is one of the wealthiest in the world, our nation is one of the poorest. Please understand the distinction between nation and country. Nation is a people subscribed, submitted to, and espoused to a value system of propriety, justice, and equity. If you give them a country, they will do good with the country. But if you give a motley crew a country, they will ruin the nation and the country. So which Nigerian is not corrupt? Which Nigerian? Because it has now become cultural and it has normalized. We don't see it as wrong anymore. The courts don't tell us the truth. And truth is not only to be told, it must be modeled. The second arm of government. Let me not go there. But if it is to be said, who will say it? If not now, when? If not the light of the world, who? If not the salt of the earth, who? The Bible says the church of God is the pillar and ground of truth. If everything else fails to tell the truth, the church must not depart from the truth. But I do believe that truth must never travel without love. And it mustn't travel faster than love. Otherwise, nobody's going to hear your truth. Grace and truth came. Grace means mercy. It infers love. But I need to get past all of that. Let's talk about the theology of the temple. There was an intentional shift that God, in 4 years, $1 trillion US. Right now it is 200 billion US dollars. It is per capita. It used to be $3,000 plus per capita 10 years ago. So we have been going backwards in GDP. That's why you and me are struggling. That's why the bill for the experience is unthinkable. That's why paying for groceries is challenging. That's why we are all dieting now. And they look and say, you're so slim. They don't know the real deal. So there are three levels.
I say Nigeria is dying. The soul of this country is dying, is bleeding and dying gradually, because the leadership of the country is not appearing to be too committed to vision, too committed to their mission as they have promised the electorate, particularly on issues concerning security. Look, every leader must be totally committed to the cause, to the peace of his country. You will recall that Christians here in Nigeria, we are crying over the Christian genocide. And then the government rather was alleged to have financed or paid money to a firm in America to launder its name against Christian genocide. Whereas they should have used the same money in dollars to translate it into the security and peace of his people. So when you see leaders not having the genuine commitment towards the peace, towards the security of his nation, of course, don't forget that is the preoccupation of leaders in government. So when you see that they do not have such level of will, political will towards the peace of the country, you will immediately assume that the country is dying, the country is bleeding to death. These are the things why I said Nigeria is dying gradually.
Oh yes. You all have heard it from these our pastors, ministers, and the rest of them, starting from Mike Arnold down to this man also. In fact, the more we continue playing it, the more they will keep repeating the same thing, that Nigeria is no more a country where your leaders, the politicians, they will be paying lobbies for them to be lying against the situation of the country. Then at the end, they will now tell you to keep clapping for them, that what they are doing is right. Is it not evil? In fact, whenever you are talking about demon, or people wake up and start saying they want to cast demon, the number one thing you need to be looking is the leadership in Nigeria or in Africa, because almost every African country, most of them, is suffering the same thing Nigeria is suffering, but it's like Nigeria is the worst, because this kind of leadership we have as APC, they are not a government, they are a demonic government. In fact, a lot is happening and a lot keep happening. Every day we keep talking and exposing them. You know, whenever you go to the mainstream media, they will not grant such kind of interview, or they will not even allow such kind of people to speak, because if you speak the truth to them, then the next thing the government will come for you. So the best thing is for them to be lying and keep painting the government as if everything they are doing is right, which they know that the thing they are doing is wrong. In fact, just wait. Tomorrow we are going to bring you the video concerning the UN and concerning the Britain, what the report card the United Nations brought concerning Tinubu government, the report they give, the report card, the results of Tinubu since his tenure, how he destroyed the whole nation in the name of his leading Nigeria. In fact, it's a very shocking report and a very shocking news. Ready? I would like to hear your comment down below. What do you think about the whole thing? Like, subscribe, and make sure you share it for everyone to see things going on in Nigeria. Say thank you for watching.